Hi, I'm Dan Sweet, and welcome to VAI at Work webinars and today's special edition webinar on preparing for VERTICON 2025. Literally, this will be the very first VERTICON, and we're excited that you're able to join us. This webinar is primarily for the newer exhibitor representatives, the people who are putting their booth together for the first time at the show. Um, and what we're hoping today is potential and confirmed exhibitors will learn more about how we are the world's largest trade show dedicated to the vertical flight industry. Um, and this first part, second part will come up next month, is going to be dedicated to some Verticon 2025 show information, an overview of the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center and exhibit floor plan, an attendee profile data. We will have representatives from the Wyman Company on sponsorship, advertising, and promoting your brand, and a representative from Maritz on basic lead retrieval package included in your booth purchase and best practices on following up with leads after the event. Joining us today is going to be Katie White from the Wyman Company. She's Director of Experience, Sales Partner, VAI and Verticon. Emily Monahan is with VAI. She is our Manager of Exhibits and Experience. And Michelle is with Maritz, and she's the Senior Exhibitor Sales Representative. These webinars are interactive. We do encourage you to ask questions. This is a great opportunity to clear anything that you are concerned about exhibiting at Verticon. Please use the question module. It's at the bottom of your screen here in Zoom, possibly on the side, possibly in a hamburger menu if you're on your phone or a tablet. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves, but the question module is the one we're going to pay the most attention to. We will address all of the questions at the conclusion of the presentations. We will try to make sure we get to every question. We are recording this webinar, and so if you miss something, you want to repeat something, hear something again, or if you want to share it with others in your organization or other companies that you work with, feel free. We will be getting this posted to YouTube and our website probably tomorrow afternoon. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but we will definitely have it up by early next week at the longest. So let me stop sharing and invite Katie to join us. Katie, thank you for coming on today.
Thanks, Dan. And hello, everyone. Excited to be here. And like Dan said, excited to kick things off for our very first edition of VERTICON. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so we can go over some exhibitor key information and best practices for sponsorship and advertising. So today what we're going to be talking about, two key things. For one, if you haven't booked your space yet for VERTICON, you're not too late, but I would strongly urge you to consider doing it very, very soon, as space is going to sell out. So the different types of spaces that we have available at VERTICON, so similar to Heli Expo, we have our standard space, which is just like our standard booth space with pipe and drape and being able to have a booth structure within it. And then we also have static space, which you're probably also familiar with, which is our space that allows companies to have an aircraft available. And then our VAI Connect area or VERTICON Connect area, we have brand new for this year, we have high tops with which are considered like a pod, and you'll have a high top desk with 2 stools, and we'll be able to have a printed graphic. This is a fantastic option for companies that maybe don't have a booth yet, or maybe have some limitations with getting items shipped to Dallas. And so this is a fantastic option, and we'll go into where these are located at. Our application and our live floor plan can be found at verticon.org. And we'll go ahead and jump to the website here. So if, like I said, verticon.org gets you to our floor plan. And so all you do is you go to exhibit here, and then you can go to show floor. Also the application for exhibit is right here in the upper right hand corner, the bright green button. So today we're going to look at the show floor just so you can become a little more familiar with the area. So when you first open it up, it's going to look a little something like this. And the website's great. You can use the controls up here to zoom in and zoom out. So just to give you a quick lay of the land, in Dallas, our main entrance is right here in Lobby D. This is also where our registration and anybody that gets dropped off by our 20 shuttle buses that will be roaming throughout Dallas picking up attendees. All of those attendees will be coming up an escalator here and coming right through this main area, this main entrance. So I mentioned earlier the VERTICON Connect area. This is where our high tops will be within this section. So we'll have a handful of pods that are available that you can definitely take advantage of. And like I mentioned, this is a great option for companies that maybe may have some limitations with getting items to our show. Some other key points to bring up, like I mentioned, the static area. This is where our aircraft display will be. So this is here in Hall A on the left-hand side. Our new product and new exhibitor showcase area is here in Hall C in this yellow section. And then we have, as you can see, we go all the way over here to Hall F. So it's a very large show floor, over 630 exhibitors expected. In fact, we're currently we have 15% more exhibitors than we did this same time last year. So again, can't stress it enough, the show floor will sell out. Do not wait if you or someone you know has been wanting to be a part of the VERTICON show floor. Highly recommend that you look into it as soon as possible. One little trick that I would recommend when you use our show floor, if you already have an idea of what type of space or what size booth you're looking for, you can use the filters up here. So there's a checkbox right here for available only. And then you can come over here to booth size and select the size booth that you're looking for. So in this case, if I hit a 400 square foot booth, it will show you on the right-hand side the booth numbers that correlate with that specific size. And then when you zoom in as well, it will put those booth sizes with little red arrows on it, making it very easy to locate them. All right, we'll go back here. Oops, sorry about that. So before heading to Dallas, we encourage your team to consider ways to maximize your exposure at the world's largest helicopter, really vertical aviation show. As I mentioned, we had in Anaheim this past year, we had over 630 exhibitors participate with us. We had 15,000 attendees that were there. We are expecting Dallas to be bigger and better. So if you're exhibiting, we highly encourage you to treat your booth like an event. If you want attendees to find you, you really have to think of it as you have to invite them. So VAI, we offer both sponsorships and advertising to help protect your investment at the show by ensuring attendees know you're there. And we can do this through a variety of channels. So for printed materials, we have our on-site program guide. So every attendee that walks into our registration area and they get their lanyard and their tote bags and other information, every attendee will have a chance to get our on-site program guide. And this is the one-stop resource that every attendee will use. It has a schedule on it, it has a show floor map, it has a list of all the exhibitors on it. It really is their guide to use throughout the show. So we have advertising opportunities there that exhibitors can take advantage of. VERTICON has an edition of Power Up Magazine. You may be familiar with Rotor Magazine. The new brand is Power Up Magazine. And we have an edition that is specifically for the VERTICON show. So that will be available to all attendees as well as they walk into our show floor. We also have banners throughout the convention center that can be very eye-catching as attendees are coming into the convention center to be able to let people know that you're there. We also have a variety of education and award sponsorships as well that companies can align their business with. And then some brand new sponsorships that we have available this year. We have several different options at our opening reception. Depending on the type of experience you're looking for, we have a variety of different options that you can choose from. Our opening reception is the Monday before the show kicks off and is a great way to let people know that you're there. We also have general sessions available this year. So these are exclusive sponsorships. So we have 2 spots where a sponsor can align their business with one of our general sessions speakers. And then our VAI Connect receptions. We'll have 2 receptions on our show floor that a sponsor may be able to sponsor and be able to have your business line up with those specific receptions. So all of these are fantastic ways to let our attendees know that you are there. Digital opportunities as well that we have. We have BAI Daily, which is our Monday through Friday e-newsletter. This is formerly Rotor Daily. During the week of VERTICON, we actually send out 2 editions, one in the morning, one in the evening. So this is a great way to let people know that you're there and you'd like to meet with them. Another digital opportunity that we have available is retargeting. So if you're not familiar with retargeting, basically this is where anybody that comes to either of our websites, verticalavi.org or verticon.org, as soon as one of our attendees comes to either one of these sites, then once they navigate to another page, your advertising could show up on that next page that they're on. So it's a little bit, but big brother, I know, but it's kind of the way of the world with digital advertising now. And a lot of companies have seen success with this over the years. We've offered this for several years now, and it's a great way to make sure that anybody that comes to either one of these sites, because it's going to be somebody in the vertical aviation space, knows that you're going to be at VERTICON and are looking forward to meeting them. And then advertising on VERTICON show app, we have our official show app that all attendees will be downloading as they come into the show floor. So this is another great way to make sure that attendees know who you are. We have a variety of different options, including push notifications and news feed posts that kind of act as like a social media post, but they're all housed within the go-to resource that all of our attendees will be using to navigate our floor and the VERTICON experience. So when you think of VERTICON and your exhibit purchase, we really want you to think of it as protecting the investment, because we know your company spends a lot of time and money to be a part of this event, and we want to make sure that you get the best experience from it. So just thinking about some of our longtime exhibitors and some of the things and successes that they've had with driving traffic to their booth, just some different things to point out. One, of course, share your booth number in any advertising or in any promotional items that you do. Make sure that you share your booth number so people know where you're at. If you're promoting a new product, that's a great reason to do some advertising or sponsorship to make sure people know that you're there and you're excited that you have something new to share with the vertical aviation attendee audience that we have. If you're celebrating a banner year or anniversary year, this is another great message that you can share with our membership and with our attendees, so they know that you're something that your company is excited about, and also perhaps also just helping build your credibility and reputation in the space. And then if you're having any sort of special event at your booth, this is a great opportunity as well to use advertising or sponsorship to make sure attendees know that you have something that you want to share with our attendee audience. So just some next steps and things to know, dates to know. If you would like to set up a call or be able to talk to someone on our sales team, we are here. Like I said, I'm with the Wyman Company. We're VAI's official sales partner. You can reach us at sales@verticalavi.org. I've also have my direct phone number on here. You can call that, and we would be happy to set up a call and go over the show floor. And also talk about any ideas on sponsorship and advertising. We help exhibitors and sponsors all the time develop custom packages. So please utilize us. We're here to help. As I mentioned earlier, do not wait to book your exhibit space. It is going to sell out. As you saw when we looked at the show floor, the space is limited. So if you are considering joining us, or you know somebody that's wanting to join, do not wait. Highly recommend that you look at the floor plan as soon as possible and make some selections. All exhibits and sponsorships must be secured by December 20th to be included in printed and on-site material. So this includes resources like the on-site program guide and other signage that we have throughout the show floor. Any advertising and sponsorship that you purchase will help towards the 2026 VERTICON lottery standing. So if you're not familiar with this, just very quickly, we use a lottery system for booth selection. So anybody that exhibits with us in Dallas will be able to select first when it comes to the next VERTICON edition. Where you stand on that list can depend on, or it depends on the size stand you have or the size booth you have, as well as how much you're spending in advertising and sponsorship. If you'd like more details on that, recommend that you reach out to myself or reach out to the sales at verticalavi.org. You can also find the details of our lottery at verticon.org to learn more specifics about how it works. And last but not least, but very important, highly recommend that if you're participating with us and you're not already a member of VAI, sign up to be a member of VAI. Not only will you save on your exhibit space and sponsorship and advertising, but you will get access to a full suite of benefits that we have. You can find them on our website at verticalavi.org. But highly recommend. It's a great way, becoming a member is a great way, like I said, to save money, but then also too, just to align your business with the leading advocate and voice for the vertical aviation industry. So if you have any specific questions regarding sponsorship, advertising, exhibiting, throw it in the chat. We'll be happy to help you after the webinar here. So now I'm going to pass the mic to Emily, who's going to be going over some key resources that exhibitors should know as they're signing up for VERTICON.
Thanks, Katie, and hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. We're doing a second one in December that will be more logistics for exhibitors. So we'll have vendors, our new AV vendor, PRG, and GES on the webinar. So if you have any questions about material handling, other things like that, I would recommend signing up for that. And I'm just going to quickly go over some exhibitor information. So this is just an overview of the event, the exhibitor move-in dates, the move-out dates. As you know, security is pretty strict on access during these hours. So if you've scheduled labor or, you have to have an important meeting, make sure that you let show management know and we can inform security so there are less problems on site. They will not let you in unless we've told them to let you in. Okay, these are just some important locations to know where the education courses are, our general sessions. Like Katie said, the shuttle pickup. Show management office will be right outside the hall in the D meeting rooms. So please know that we'll have that staffed. You can come by with any questions that you have, any concerns. We'll also have a phone number so you can reach us if the exhibit staff is out on the show floor. There's a link to the virtual tour of the facility. We also are embracing some sustainability initiatives with the building. So they have a good neighbor program. You can donate your exhibit items, so furniture, things like that. You will get tags from GES on move out days and put them on any furniture, anything you want to donate. And then as well as food items or beverages, if it's unopened and unused, then you can work directly with catering through Sodexo and get those picked up. And the building coordinates with nonprofits in the Dallas area, so it goes right back into the community. Wanted to talk about targeted move-in. So there is a target floor plan that's posted right now on the VERTICON website. The target date and time is not when you need to be on site. You can choose to be, but some of these are very early. So I know people are starting to plan their travel. You do not need to be on site. The targeted date and time is when your freight should arrive. So if you're sending your freight through the warehouse, then GES will pick up your freight from the warehouse and deliver it to your booth at the target date and time. Any direct deliveries, you want your trucks, your carrier to check in with the marshaling yard at your targeted date and time. If you're hand carrying things, then, make your booth carpet will be laid by GES Any electrical will be laid by GES. Any pipe and drape will be set up by that target date and time. And then on the floor plan, we have last in, first out booths marked. So those have been marked as last in, first out because we need them to remain clear of freight, carpeting, any setup materials, because that space we may need for aircraft movement. Um, that's a big part of the show is getting these aircraft in and out of the hall, making sure nothing happens to them. So we really need those areas to remain clear, and that's why they're last in and first out. So if your booth is last in, first out, and you have any concerns about that, let us know. Typically, booths that need just a day or less to set up, you're going to be perfectly fine. If you have a structure you're building or you need additional labor, let us know what you're planning, and we can, coordinate with you and let you know if we think that it's a good idea for you to be in a last in, first out, or we think we should move you somewhere else. And lastly, the Exhibitor Resource Center is open. So this is where you can find any important deadlines, you can review the show resources, you can find our social media kit. So start promoting your brand. Um, any information that you put in this profile will be public on the show floor to attendees. So they'll click on the link where your booth is, and they'll see your description, your exhibitor categories, your logo. So that's really important to present a full profile to attendees, any public-facing information. That also gets fed into the app. So then you don't have to do everything twice. You can put your company information in here that will flow directly over to the app. And if you want to add more information there, you can do so. Everyone should have received an email with the login details for the Resource Center last week. This went to everyone's primary exhibitor contact. If that has changed, if you didn't get the email, please reach out to us. We can easily send it again. We can help you log in. And we've also added an important link to Maritz and the exhibitor registration portal here. So I know last year we had more logins, more sign-ins, more different pages. So clicking under exhibitor registration, there's a button that says click here that allows a single sign-on into Maritz. You go directly to your exhibitor registration portal where you can register your booth staff, you can invite your customers, you can look at any badge allotment information, purchase additional badges, and then activate your lead retrieval. So next up, we have Michelle from Maritz, and she's going to talk about the lead retrieval that is included when you purchase a space. It's a basic lead retrieval package through Maritz. Upgrades are available, but in the included package, 3 activations are allowed, and it's a great resource you should use. Make sure you activate it, and she will talk more about this. And put any questions in the chat, and let us know if you want to see anything else for the next webinar. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Michelle here from Maritz. Wanted to talk to you about the Swap mobile apps, which is included with your booth. Let me share my screen with you real quick. What we have is it's included with your booth, up to 3 users for the Swap mobile app. It can be downloaded to any Apple or Android product of your choice. What you do is once you download the app, get it activated, you can start scanning badges anywhere, anytime. It will pick up and save the data for you. You can take notes. You can rate your engagement with the 5-star system and or even ask qualifying questions. You can set those up in advance of the show as well. They do have additional lead options if you did not want to use your own smartphone. We have the preferred rental device, which is the handheld device. It's an actual Android phone. We do the programming. You would just come by our booth to pick that up and start scanning with that, or even the tablet, just a larger operating system. Uses the camera function so that you can scan with that. We do also have a developer kit. So if you have your own systems, you can definitely set up an API key with your programmers to read the badges. Once you have the 3-pack, which will all be preloaded to everybody's products for their lead retrieval, we'll preload that onto your account, and you'll just want to set up that device by using the activation code you'll receive and your badge ID once you've registered for the show. You'll type in that 16-digit activation code and your registration ID after that. Hit activate. Your phone is ready to go. Once you have the swap activation on there, it's simple enough. Just hit that yellow button at the top, scan the QR code. Once you scan that QR code, you'll see the information from that attendee on the front screen. You can make any edits if needed. And then also you have a second option. If you did not have a way to scan that badge, as long as you have the individual's 4-digit ID number and the first initial of their last name, you can manually enter it, but most people will let you scan with no problems, but you can always go back into it and edit as needed. And the good thing with our swap app is you do have many features. You can view the contact information here on the front of the screen. You can rate using the 5-star system. It's right through here. You have your demographics that you can see. You can add a custom survey if you would like to better qualify those leads. Obviously, we have a notes field where you just click on notes, type them in there, or use the talk to text feature, which is a wonderful tool. You can even set up collateral if you wanted to send a PDF of your equipment, your products, or just a website link. You can always set that up ahead of time, thanking them for coming by your booth, and it will add in that collateral from there. Oops, sorry. After scanning the leads, simply tap on that notes field. Notes can be typed in or talk to text like I had mentioned. Survey, what you would do is click on the survey. You would actually set it up through the portal. So once you place your order, you'll have access to the portal, and there's no limitation on how many questions and answers. We do have the limitation on character count, however, and all this data will appear on the download once the show is over. Once the show, like I said, is over, actually it's anytime. Your data is available the moment you scan the leads, so you can go onto the portal, see your data there, and export it into an Excel or CSV file, and it will stay out on the portal for, I'd say, a good 2 years, if not 3. So you can always go back into it. And obviously, if you have any additional questions or any concerns come up and you wanted to discuss it, you'll be able to reach out to me at any point. I will also probably reach out to make sure that everybody's getting activated on their free swap apps before the show begins. And from here, we'll take any questions that you might have in the chat section. I'll turn that back over to Dan.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. If we can get Emily and Katie to bring their cameras up too. And Michelle, if you can stop sharing your screen, we'll get going a little bit. One of the things in my previous incarnation before I came to VAI, HAI, worked for a company where I was the exhibit coordinator as well. And one of the things that was the biggest things that helped me out was a calendar. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Nowadays, I guess I got my blur screen on. Nowadays, let's see if I can, whoops, Hit the wrong button. There we go. Nowadays, VAI produces an exhibit planner. These things are invaluable. It's too late to get one for this year, but watch for them when you're at the show in Dallas. It's a full-scale calendar that has all the deadlines pre-populated into it, so you don't have to go through the whole thing like I used to have to do and uh, post your own dates. It's also got phone numbers, points of contact for VAI, the Wyoming company for Maritz. Should have everybody in there. Just a great resource in case anybody needs something like that. Having a calendar just for me made life so much easier. Emily, I had a question that came to mind while you were talking. Some people don't necessarily, work with maps well, and obviously you don't look into the map, you don't know what's around you. What's the latest somebody should try to change booths if they needed to, or what could they do if they get to the show and the booth location is, has hard walls around it or something like that? How would they address that?
That is a great question. So we want anyone to submit a booth relocation request by December 20th, because that's the date that we need to get all of the booth numbers, company names to our printer for any printed materials. Relocations are available on site even later than December 20th, but at that point, your booth number may be wrong, printed incorrectly in the program guide. Sometimes we do have, a week to change this, a little leeway with the printer, but that is a deadline that you should be aware of.
Well, it's probably safe to assume that if you wait to the show, I mean, you may end up with something slightly better, but you're probably still out on the edges, out
Yeah.
in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so available space definitely dwindles. Perimeter booths or booths behind some of the big guys do get assigned later. If you have any questions about what your neighbors are doing, if you want to know their booth design, all companies with hard walls or rigging, they need to submit a booth design to us. We don't always get them on time, but a lot of people are great about submitting them early. So reach out to us on the exhibits team and, let us know what your concerns are, and we'll try to help you navigate, what your neighbors are doing. So if you feel like you're going to be hidden by hard walls, things like that, but you don't want to lose your space, then we can look into some advertising, some extra things you can do to make sure people know that you're there. Your company is there. You can get floor decals. You can do extra things to help drive traffic to your booth. Do we
Oh,
have any other questions?
we didn't have anything come in, and so I think that you guys obviously did a really good job of covering a lot of the information. I think looking through the list, I think a lot of the people had been there. The one thing I felt was missing was obviously Texas barbecue restaurants, but that's just a personal thing for me. It's certainly an opportunity that I'm going to take advantage of while I'm in Dallas. We do have a question pop up from Thomas. How do we request early move-in knowing we are not LIFO?
Last in, first out.
There
Okay.
we go.
So if you have already looked at the target floor plan and you think that you need more time, then the GES Exhibitor Services Kit is where you can submit what's called a target variance form. Not all target variances can be approved because of things like aircraft movement, freight, things like that. But that's where you can submit the request to have your target moved up. The Exhibitor Services Kit is in the final review right now. I think I've said that to people for a month, but that's how long it takes to make sure everything is reviewed and correct before we share it to exhibitors. So hopefully getting that posted to the VERTICON website and the Exhibitor Resource Center by next week or the following week.
Okay, we have a question from Kate asking, is there an early bird discount for GES?
Yes, so there is an early bird discount. Every service that you order through the GES services kit will be discounted. I think the discount ends either January 20th or somewhere around there. The prices and the dates will be in the exhibitor services kit, and I can get a firm date on that. I think it is January 20th though. So send me an email and I can send you the firm date.
Actually, I'm looking at the exhibitor planner, and it looks like the official vendor discount deadline, which might include the GES or some of the others probably, is actually this year, February 7th. We're a little bit later with the show. So once again, this document, I'm trying to, having all the deadlines inside here just makes life so much easier. I think they try to drop a copy at every booth during the show. And then there are certainly other copies available. If you don't receive one, I don't know, Emily, if you guys mail them or something like that, or if there's a digital version. But
Yeah.
having something like that is so
The
helpful.
digital version is available on verticon.org under the heading exhibit, and you can download it. And also, all of the deadlines will be on the Exhibitor Resource Center under the checklist. So it's in multiple places, but if you have any doubts, if you have any concerns, just email us, call us. We're happy to help you. We want you to be successful at the show. We care about things going, well. So anything that we can do to help you before you get on site, those issues, those problems, those questions are so much easier to deal with before the show starts versus when we're there.
And I will say, again, as a former exhibitor, those deadlines can save you a ton of money.
Yes.
Take advantage of them. Make sure you drop your housing. If you have book extra rooms and you don't need them, drop them as early as you can. Meet the early bird deadlines as often as you can. Sometimes it's inconvenient, but again, you're going to save a great deal of money by doing all of those things. That looks like that might be all the questions this time. We encourage everybody to come back for the webinar in December. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Emily, Katie, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today. I think the information you guys provided was very, very helpful. I'm going to go ahead and finish up with just some housekeeping things here real quick. Let me share my screen again. There we go. We don't have the date for this yet, or I'm sorry, we do have the date for it. I don't have the link for it here yet. Watch your emails, watch your exhibitor kits, watch anything that still comes in. December 12th will be the next webinar, and it will be December 12th, probably at 1 p.m. here Eastern time. Again, a little bit earlier on the West Coast. But this next one is going to focus primarily on logistics and working with GES during the show service provider. They are an incredible resource as well. Well, again, watch for that. I know both Katie and Emily had mentioned the two publications. VAI, we like to share information. And I've got the wrong email, wrong website address. I forgot to change that, but the information is still good. Power Up Magazine is our award-winning quarterly magazine. Has a lot of great stories, a lot of in-depth stories, resources that we think are helpful to not only our members, but to the industry. It's free to subscribe to unless you live outside of the United States, then there's a small stipend for shipping. VAI Daily, we do the Google search so you don't have to. We find all the stories that are relevant each day to the vertical flight industry, and we compile them into one convenient location. It's a combination of press releases, industry stories, regulatory information, legislative information, safety information, accident information, education stuff. There's just a ton of stuff, usually between 10 and 15 stories that you can read at your convenience. That's also free to subscribers. It goes out to about 40,000 subscribers each day, each business day. All you have to do right now is go to VAI, verticalavi.org/subscribe to sign up for both those publications. Again, they're free unless you're outside the US. In that case, the print copy of the magazine will be a little bit more. You probably already have the contact information for Emily, for Katie, and Michelle. If you do have any other questions or feedback for the organization, our president and CEO, James Viola, is always interested in hearing what you have to say. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what we could do better. Easiest way to do that is send Jim an email at president@verticalavi.org. And he does respond to every one of them. He does assign some of them to staff members for tasking, depending on the level of what it requires. But we do want to hear from you on that. That does wrap up our webinar for today. We do look forward to seeing you again in December and, of course, in March at VERTICON in Dallas. We thank you very much for taking the time to join us, and we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.